Hello there, my friends. I've had an absolutely fantastic day, and it's all been out of just giving things a go and getting out into the real world. There was a route that I wanted to walk along, and it actually turned out that it came to a dead end dead end, into farmland with diggers and manure slurry and real proper countryside stuff actually. But it's a route that I've wanted to try for a while, and it's really satisfying to actually be out amongst all of the things. And on the way back, fairly recently, I was talking about a sort of situation, a kind of slight situation developing with a friend that felt reminiscent of a lot of different relationships that I've had, where I've been making a lot of educated guesswork, but not really having any solid information to go on. But after I had my therapy session last week, I actually messaged this chap, and it turns out it was actually nothing particularly serious, but the sheer act of, again, asking, of just requesting the information, seeing what the actual feedback is, often it will give you clarity on situations that you're just kind of churning over in your head and agonizing over and catastrophizing over. And rather than trying to make sense of things on your own, that you just get the information straight from the horse's mouth. And this chap in question, who's really sweet, I mean, he's a really, really nice guy and fun and interesting and a doer, you know. And on the way back, I messaged him asking him if he was going to be at the allotment, because he's asked for a favour in the next couple of weeks, you know, to do some work for him. And we met at the allotment, and I cannot tell you how blissful it was, because his own father has done a lot of work building greenhouses and planting various trees, and there have been other people that have been involved in this allotment as well. And it's a real oasis of apple trees, and soon there are going to be blackberries on all of the vines, and he's planted in the greenhouses his own plants and tomatoes and beans shoots and all these things, you know, and it was just such a wonderful thing. And there was the rain coming down, and it all looked really plentiful and abundant, and I just felt really, really happy to be alive. And I felt I'm feeling far more myself by actually doing all of these things, as well as paying cash for things, doing things that are real, or at least that feel more tangible and hands-on rather than the digital world that we live in, and shopping at the local farm shop, and all these things that are available actually to a lot of us. And the thing is, now there are certain things that obviously you can't buy household goods in the farm shop, but at the local co-op, sort of a mini market, mini supermarket, of getting certain things, it feels kind of weird to be in those places when you've actually got authentic, well-produced and genuinely local stuff that I'm buying, and it feels like making a genuine contribution. And obviously there's always some kind of news going on, and there's quite a famous British city called Liverpool, and there's been a commotion and an attacker in a car ploughing people over, and I'm sort of loath to even go into that much detail about it, because nobody knows. Even when you watch the video, nobody actually knows the backstory, if it's real, if it's fake, if it's staged. And everybody is sharing this video and piling on and theorizing and trying to figure out what's going on. And I'm just thinking, all that we're doing here is sharing the same violence over and over and over and over again. And people say, oh, if key figures in the industry, in journalism, in the online world, blah blah blah, saying, oh, send me any details, and thinking, okay, fine, that's sort of doing something, maybe, I don't know, but what you're going to do with that information, and I'll tell you, frankly, what most of it's going to be is just stoking up more resentment. And all of this stuff is very, very tempting, but it just destroys the soul. And I think we can feel it. And the thing is, the people in my local mini market are lovely. They're really friendly. So there is actually a bit of community there. And I chat with several of the staff in there, one in particular, a guy who's really, really sweet. And so that part of it is very nice. But when you understand, having just been in a greenhouse and in all of this abundant nature, and picking off bits of fresh mint and seeing what that tastes and feels like in your mouth, rather than having it carried and traveled over hundreds of miles for days and days and days, of just tasting how fresh and sweet and pungent it is. And there were very, very young and sort of small at the moment, but perfectly mighty, spring green leaves, and putting those in my mouth and just sort of chewing on them and just feeling the taste explosion just coat every single corner of my mouth. It just unbelievable. And being asked actually by this chap, really sweet chap, to be a part of it, and also to have the patience to, now that we're at the end of May, to wait until September, October, when we can pick the apples off the trees or pick up the ones that have already fallen to the ground. I felt so privileged and included, actually. And a lot of it comes by I've talked a lot about saying no, but obviously when it's the right stuff, uplifting stuff, soul nurturing activities, we'll say yes to those. Get involved and see what opportunities arise out of that, or even just what joy and fulfillment and accomplishment you can get because he's going away soon and he needs somebody to water his plants for him while he's away. And just, getting a watering can and dunking it into this huge, many, many gallons of water container, and, spraying that all over and doing it yourself, getting mud on your hands and just sort of feeling the actual earth and nurturing things, cultivating things, and not concerning yourself with how long it takes, but just doing the process, contributing. That's what really counts. And I just feel really blessed and uplifted by today, because it's been a genuinely different day and very exciting, but also very simple. And I think we've lost this art of being able to sit in a room, to look at the view for a little bit longer, not having to race around, no frantic, desperate rush, but just appreciating the beautiful things that are in front of you. And if you're in a city and you can't necessarily get to somewhere beautiful immediately, well, think about walking through, even if it's 2, 3 or 4 neighborhoods to get to the nice place, and spending some proper time really appreciating actually how blessed and how lucky we are. And if you have to get on a train or get on a bus or whatever it is, go and seek out these beautiful moments, these beautiful places. and start to fill your life with goodness. Be grounded, be grateful. And I swear that will help you to live a really, really great life. Good day.